Hi guys, my name is Daniella and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be discussing Bridgerton Season 3, Part 1. A couple of disclaimers. 1, I have read the book. 2, this video will not be like most of my TV review videos because I actually filmed this video earlier this week and I did not like it because I filmed it in the format that I normally do and it just didn't work because of this 2-part release. I made a whole YouTube video about why 2-part releases suck, so if you want to check that out, it's somewhere up here. Because of this 2-part release, it made it really hard for me to be able to give a well-nuanced review of the show in the format that I normally do. So instead of doing that, I will be discussing my likes and dislikes of this season so far. I also will be discussing what I'm hoping for in part 2 as well, of course. I wasn't a Pollen fan before, like during season 1 or season 2, but I was really excited because their book was really good and I liked the way that their storyline and their love story went. The question that I will be answering today is, was season 3 of Bridgerton overhyped? Let's get into it and see. So obviously I think there have been a lot of negative feelings about this season and I can't lie, I share in a lot of those feelings. I think that this season was not overhyped, but it just missed the mark and it didn't live up to the expectations that a lot of us fans had. If you know me, if you watch my channel, you know I'm a big Bridgerton girl. I have discussed Bridgerton since the very beginning of my channel and I was really let down by the first half of the season just because it didn't live up to what I expected. And although I don't think this first half was really good, I do have hope that the second half will redeem this season, and as a cohesive season it will be really good. I'm gonna start off with my likes because I don't want it to be super negative. My first like this season is Francesca. I love everything about Francesca. She is actually my favorite character now. I just love Francesca. She just is the sweetest girl. I just love her. Like, I wish we got to see her more in the last seasons, but I'm so happy that we get to see her now. I think her love story with Mr. Sterling is so cute. A lot of people on social media have been saying that she is neurodivergent, and I also think that obviously nothing has been confirmed, but I just love seeing that representation on screen if that is the case. And her love story with Mr. Sterling has been really cute. The new actress that is playing her is doing an amazing job and I think that her storyline is gonna be really good. Next up is the Mondriches. I love the Mondriches. I know a lot of people on TikTok and social media have been saying that they don't like the Mondriches storyline, that they think it's boring, that they need to cut it out. I think that their storyline is such a beautiful storyline. It is showing how Tawn life and this society life can be as someone who's not born into it and someone like coming new into it. I think the Mondriches have been a great character and like a great family throughout the whole entire show, and so I love the fact that they're getting a bigger storyline and like they're coming into the Tawn. I love the Mondriches, the couple. They are such a cute couple and I think they show like love as, you know, regular people and now part of the Tawn, and so I just like love them and I really am not loving the hate about them because their storyline is really interesting and there's some other storylines that could be cut. Next up is Lady Violet and her speeches. I love Lady Violet. I've always loved Lady Violet, but something that I really love about Lady Violet is her speeches to her children. Lady Violet is a mother, and she's 8 children and she knows how to talk to each of them individually, and I really love that. I think that was really shown in season 2 episode 8 when she has that conversation with Anthony when Kate wakes up and Anthony finds out how she doesn't want him to like lose out on this love just because he's afraid of losing Kate. Both Lady Violet and Anthony were acting in that scene, but I just like love the fact that Lady Violet, she always knows her children, she always treats her children so well. I think she's doing an amazing job with Francesca this season and an amazing job with Colin this season. Her speech about friendship and love to Colin in episode 3 was really sweet, and I'm so excited for Lady Violet and the possibility of her garden being in bloom this season with Lord Anderson, Lady Danbury's brother, as well. I just think it will be very good and I'm excited to see what will come for her. Next up is Lord Deblane. I actually really like Lord Deblane. I thought he was really chill and he would be a perfect person for Penelope. Obviously though, after he said that he doesn't really see falling in love with his wife, I was like, that's not gonna work. But before that, I thought that Lord Deblane would be a perfect person for Penelope because he was always gone, so she could still be Lady Whistledown and not have any issues. Like, he wouldn't stop her, he wouldn't catch her, and I thought that that was really cool. Also, Lord Deblane is actually the most unproblematic person in the show. He didn't do a single thing bad. He was always nice to Penelope, which a lot of people cannot say the same, and I just thought he was really nice and really cool. So no Lord Deblane main hate here. He was chill, he was cool, and I liked him. Next thing that I really enjoyed this season is the Featherington storyline. I normally hate the Featherington storyline because it's normally just really boring and annoying to me, but this season has been really, really good because it's just been so funny. They've been the humor this season. I've really enjoyed it. I also want to say that Portia Featherington, Lady Featherington, is such a good character, and I love seeing more layers of her this season because I feel like the past seasons she's been such a villain, but I think this season she has just been so much more like humanized, I think, and shown to just be a really good mother, and so I really enjoyed that as well. I also like Penelope more this season. My issues with Penelope before of just like she didn't really have anything to her, and I think we still don't really know much about Penelope, but I think we know more about Penelope, and I really like the fact that like she is taking charge of her life and her story, and that she has decided that like I don't want to do this anymore, like I need a husband, I want a husband because this is what I want. That is partially because of her sisters and her mother and her family, but I'm just really happy that like her makeover and all those things were decisions that she made and she wanted to do. I'm excited to see like the more growth and development of Penelope. I also want to say I really like the new debutantes. I was really excited to see that they like brought in new cast members and new people to be the Ton. Obviously the last 2 seasons we saw like the same people, so this season being like a whole new class of debutantes was really, really, really fun to me, and I really like them, and I hope we get to know a little bit more about each of them as the season goes on. I also want to say that with that I'm loving more representation in this season, including the girl with braids, which is really exciting for me because I don't have braids in right now, but I wear braids a lot, and so seeing that Bridgerton was really, really fun. The deaf or hard of hearing debutante who was using BSL, British Sign Language, not ASL, after she was presented to the Queen with her mother, I thought that was really, really cool. The more body representation, I believe that there was a plus size debutante and diverse in that. I thought that was really cool. And also the Lord, I believe, in a wheelchair. I thought that was really, really important, and I love seeing the more representation. Something that I love about Bridgerton is the diversity and the importance that they make that in the show, and so seeing that representation in the show was really nice as well. I also want to say I really, really enjoyed the lessons storyline. I'm so mad at that damn debutante that messed it up for everyone. I love the lessons that Colin and Penelope were having. I thought it was really, really cute. I think that if it got to continue, it would have been really, really cute to like see the way that that maybe made Colin fall and love Penelope more. I really liked that. I thought it was really cute, really sweet. I liked their lesson where she like told him how beautiful his eyes were, and like that was really cute, and I thought that was like one of the few moments this season that I really saw like why Colin and Penelope work, because they were actually having time alone to themselves, and we actually got to see that. The other thing I really liked this season were the book scenes. As someone who read the book, I had really high expectations for the book to screen adaptations because this book had so many good scenes that would look so good on the screen, and they did an amazing job. When Penelope read Colin's journal, I think that scene was so perfect. It really played out exactly how I imagined it, and I really, really liked it. The scene where Penelope asked Colin to kiss her was so good. I loved it, and I just loved their book scenes that they utilized in the show because they were really, really good, and they did an amazing job. I love Pen's new outfits. She looks amazing in every single look, and I'm so happy that we finally get my girl in some colors that look good on her. I also really loved her hair in the last episode 4, because she had these cute little like flowers with these little like pins in them, and it just looks so cute, and I'm a big fan of that. And my last thing that I really liked this season was Colin's dream. I was really happy that it was Colin's dream and not Penelope's dream. I think this is one of the times that we got to see he was yearning for Penelope, and I really liked that as well. So that was basically everything I liked this season. Obviously there's definitely probably some more things I'm just not thinking of. Now we're going to get into the things that I disliked this season so far. The first thing that I disliked so far this season was Colin, and I need to preface by saying that I was never a big Colin fan, but I am a big Luke Newton fan. I have been a fan of Luke Newton since he was on Disney Channel on The Lodge. If you are a real Luke Newton fan, you know. I was excited to see like Luke Newton play Colin and be the leading man, and I just don't think that they hit the mark this season for Colin and his development. I think as we've seen in the 2 previous seasons, like the men have a lot of character development. I think Anthony had a lot of character development where you got to see his desire for marriage and why he was choosing Edwina and why he was with Kate and those types of things. I think for Colin, because it was a friends to lovers and obviously more like a pining to lovers, where like Penelope had always loved him but Colin hadn't seen her like that, I think it was really important for us to see why Colin has changed and why he likes Penelope so much now, and we're just not seeing that now. I also feel like I just don't know anything about Colin. Other than the fact that Colin travels a lot, I couldn't tell you a single thing. I think Lady Violet said that he was like a really kind kid or something. But other than that, like, we know nothing about Colin himself. I think that is such an issue because if he's supposed to be the leading man, if he's supposed to be the main love story, then we should know more about Colin. So I just didn't really like that. Next thing that I didn't like was Colin's love declaration. It wasn't actually Colin's love declaration, but just like in the carriage scene when he was talking to Penelope about like why he wanted to like be with her, I didn't like it because one, I think that Colin needed to have some more yearning and groveling for the fact that he said he would never marry Penelope. I feel like we went away from that way too soon, and I think Colin definitely needed to do a bit more. I think that would have happened more if we had learned more about Colin. But also, I felt like the acting in that scene was not as good as I think it could be. I like to say this, I think there could have been a better take. I just didn't feel the yearning, I didn't feel the desire, I didn't feel the passion, the way that you like feel when you listen to like You're the Bane of My Existence and the Object of All My Desires. Like, if anyone tries to tell me that Colin's speech in the carriage scene is better than You Were the Bane of My Existence and the Object of All My Desires, do not speak to me. Because it's not. I saw a TikTok where a girl was saying this, and in the background of the TikTok, she like had the carriage scene playing. I was listening to it and I was like, there's no passion in this man's voice. There's no yearning in this man's voice. It literally just sounds like he's reading off the script. I didn't really like that, but obviously I am rooting for them to do better. I'm rooting for the love and the yearning and the pining to be more in the second part. So on that, another thing that I disliked was the love story itself. I feel like the love story happened really, really quickly and really, really rushed, and it wasn't explained well. Obviously, someone who's read the book, I know that that's like how it is in the book as well. But I think because of this show and the fact that like it's on the screen, they had 4 whole episodes to show us more of Colin pining for Penelope. We obviously saw him like staring and realizing that he likes her. We didn't really get to see why or like the thought process behind that. I think that that was really necessary. To aid in that, they so should have used some flashback. And also because I feel like the second part is going to be more Lady Whistledown focused, I really need them to try and show more of the love story in the second part because we're just not really getting it in this first part. Next thing that I didn't really like this season was the Queen. I think that the Queen had been really lackluster this season. She did not show up as much as she normally does, and she just wasn't her like normal self, like her normal personality and character. She wasn't that. I wish that we got to see more of the Queen, like being the Queen how she normally is. And I heard that someone thinks that she might die this season because like that's how it was like historically. I don't think that that's gonna happen because people just love the Queen. Like, people love the character of the Queen, especially after Queen Charlotte. People really love the Queen, so I don't think that's gonna happen. But I just like wish we got to see more of the Queen being like her personality, because I feel like it was really like watered down this season. The next thing I didn't really like is the pacing and the dialogue. I think that the pacing was just really off this season. It felt too fast but too slow, but not enough. Like, there was just so much going on that the pacing just felt really weird. Also, the dialogue was really weird this season to me. The scene in the garden where Colin is like being this like it man and all the debutantes are talking to him, if you listen to what he says, it's actually such weird dialogue to me, and it didn't feel genuine or realistic. That is an issue. Like, I'm so sorry. I feel like we could have had so many better lines because I just feel like that dialogue was kind of odd. Also, just like throughout the season, I feel like the dialogue was kind of weird, and also there were a lot of awkward silences this season. Like, I don't know what it was, but there'd be a lot of scenes where like it would start off like silent and then they would start talking, or like a scene would happen and then it would go silent for a little bit and then they would switch scenes, and it was just like kind of weird. That was something I didn't really like. This is actually my biggest issue with this season was that there was no Kate. I am so mad that Kate and Anthony went on a second honeymoon, because y'all need to come back home. Y'all need to come back home, because I wanted to see Kate and Anthony. As a Kate and Anthony fan, they are my favorite storyline. They are my favorite couple. They are my favorites. Like, I love Kate and Anthony. I was so angry to see them leave. I also realized, like, rewatching the trailer, all of the scenes that we saw of them in the trailer were in that first episode. Most of the scenes from the trailer were in the first episode, so like, it's whatever. It also makes me worried because the teaser for the second part has Kate and Anthony, but it's giving that all of those scenes will be in episode 5 and we won't see them again for the rest of the season. And that makes me really sad. I'm really hoping that we get to see more of Kate and Anthony, because I think that they are the best Bridgerton couple. No one asked me questions. Benedict's storyline, I have read Benedict's book. It's really good, and I had really wanted Benedict to be this season's lead, so it was something that made me a little mad. But I also just don't really like Benedict's storyline this season, because I feel like his storyline is like kind of useless this season. Like, I feel like in season 1 and season 2, Benedict has storylines that moved him along, that gave him more character development, that showed who he was and what he desired. This season's storyline like just doesn't really do that, and I just don't get the point of this lady, because I need Benedict and Sophie. Like, I need Benedict with his lady Sophie, which I'll talk about a little bit later, but I'm not really loving Benedict's storyline this season. season. I'm not loving Eloise and Cressida this season. Obviously, like, they're trying to redeem Cressida and show her as like this human, and like obviously like people have flaws and all that type of stuff, but I just don't know how I feel about Eloise and Cressida, and I just really miss Eloise and Penelope. Last, and this is probably like the most important issue I have with like the storyline and the plot of this season, the lack of Lady Danbury's influence on Penelope and Colin's love story. So if you read the book, you would know that Lady Danbury plays a really important role in Colin and Penelope's love story. She is the reason why Penelope like gets her confidence to like talk to Colin and like pursue him in a way that like she had never before, but they're not showing that or like having that storyline in this season, and it makes me really sad. I think this is because for season 2, obviously Lady Danbury was like the dowager and like in charge of Edwina and Kate, and that was not how it was in the book. So I think because she had such a big role in season 2, they didn't want to make her a big role in season 3 again, which I guess makes sense, but it makes me kind of sad because like Lady Danbury is so important, and that they named their first daughter Agatha after Lady Danbury. It just makes me sad that like she's not playing that role, not even if it's not to the same like amount, but not at all this season. Like, she hasn't been in any part of Penelope and Colin's love story, and that makes me sad. I just wish that we got to see her like that. I also want to know more about Lady Danbury and her brother Lord Anderson's beef, because I don't get why she's mad, and I want to know. That is everything that I disliked from the season. Now I want to talk about the season just like overall and in general, and kind of give overarching feelings about part 1 and then what I want to see in part 2. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't want to judge it yet because the whole season is not out. I obviously will be doing a full season review once part 2 comes out, so don't even worry, guys. This season has been a little bit off. I think a big reason about this that a lot of people don't know, and I learned about this through TikTok, so shout out to TikTok, is that this season there was a new showrunner. It's really obvious whenever that happens in a show, when the showrunners change, because things, like little things change. But I think that's part of the reason why this season has been kind of off and just like weird, because someone else is running the show. The original showrunner, Chris Van Dusen, stepped down after season 2. Apparently it was like all chill, like no bad blood, but he just stepped down. And so the lady that was like underneath him, Jess Brown, now she is now the showrunner. So all these little things that are off, the little tweaks, the fact that we think it looks a little cheap, and like those little things that we think is just off, is because she's a new showrunner. I low-key need Chris back, or need Shonda Rhimes to showrun. No hate to Jess, I think she's done a great job already. The love and like what we know of Bridgerton is with Chris being the showrunner, so the change is obviously gonna feel different. Also, I want Shonda to showrun because she was the showrunner for Queen Charlotte. We all know Queen Charlotte is the best thing of Bridgerton, and I want that for Bridgerton itself. Like I said, I don't love Colin and Penelope's love story, and I think that Colin needs to yearn and pine more. We also desperately need flashbacks for their love story. I really want them to hopefully develop their love story a bit more. Currently, their love story does not seem genuine and realistic. Really want their love story to be good. It's not gonna be the exact same as it was in the books. I need them to give a bit more. Like, I just need them to give a bit more. I think Nicola is doing an amazing job as lead. She is carrying. She is keeping me, and I got her like this. I love Nicola, but I need Nicola and Luke to be killing it. Like, you know, like I think Penn is great, but Colin is not. I think also part of that is because Colin's hair, makeup, it's off this season. Because Luke Newton is a good looking man. Colin is not this season. So we need to fix that. I rewatched this season, obviously. What else am I gonna do since we only got one part? And it's much better on rewatch. Like the season itself, like I enjoyed it more the second time I watched it. But I don't think that I should feel the way that I'm like, oh, like this is a lot better. This doesn't look that bad. Like this dialogue isn't too bad. Like all those types of things. I think the first time you watch a show, you should be like, this was good. I want to rewatch it. If you didn't really like the season, I really encourage you to rewatch it because I think it's better on rewatch. For part 2, I want to see more of Francesca's storyline. I'm really excited for that. End of season 3. I need to know who is leading next season, and this is what I need. I think there's obviously 3 contenders for the main lead for next season, and that is Eloise, Benedict, and Francesca. In all of those storylines, I think could start this season. I need the last scene in this season to tell us who is the lead for next season. That's basically how I felt about season 3 part 1. I hope you guys enjoyed like this different format. I think that this worked better. I'm really excited for part 2. I did have a lot of dislikes for this season so far, but I'm excited for part 2. I don't think I can say that this season is a bad season yet, just because we haven't seen the full season. This next part of the season is going to be more focused on Lady Whistledown and like how Colin is gonna find out that Penelope's Lady Whistledown. So I'm excited to see that. I'm also excited to see what they do about Lady Whistledown, because if you read the books, you know that after Penelope and Colin's this book, there is no more Lady Whistledown. Penelope stops being Lady Whistledown after she gets married to Colin. But I don't think that that works well in the show. I think they're gonna keep her being Lady Whistledown, but I just don't know how they're gonna do that. So I'm excited to see this next part, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Please comment down below what you guys think. I want to hear everything. I want to hear everyone's thoughts. I want to hear it all. I will see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe as well. I hope you have an amazing day. Bye. Lonely, you're the reason why I can feel those butterflies when I go to sleep.